Hello and welcome back, everybody, to If My Heart Had Wings. So, last episode, our man Aoi became a dorm mother. Sometimes life be like that. And, well, I guess we will now find out what this dorm motherhood is all about. By the way, did you realize that the window in the building is actually a cross? No, the other way around. That the cross in the building is actually a window. I didn't realize that. Well, at least up until now. My first job as a dorm mother is to make breakfast for the boarders.
うん、うまい。葵くん、料理上手だね。おかわり。
Sure, a big bowl, right?
わかってるね。
I'm pretty confident in my cooking. Until recently, I was living with my father, who was ordered to transfer to the country. I guess to the not foreign country. And every day I helped with the housework. I was in charge of preparing the meals, and it's not like I hated cooking or anything. Yeah, different than me, to be honest, I hate cooking. Like I'm a good eater, but I'm a bad cook. That's one of the reasons why I accepted the job as a dorm mother. So, the others don't need breakfast, huh? Since just now, no one has come into the dining room. Sometimes there would be someone walking through the hallway in front, but they seem to be sneaking around. Kanako looked towards the hallway just as the oldest boarder Yuka was peeking in before swiftly dashing off.
もう、みんなオブだからね。男の子に免疫がないのよ。
But Keifu is a co-ed school, right?
いくら学校で同じでも、寝起きの緩み切ったすっぴんが見られちゃうわけじゃないからね。
Uh-huh. Okay. I see. It seems that a guy being the dorm mother of a girl dormitory will have its problems after all. There is a reason why I accepted the job as a dorm mother at Flying Fish Manor. Not long ago, the owner Janita collapsed. It sounds like she's pretty old, and as well as straightening her back, she caught a summer cold, which became aggravated. The owner soon began looking for a replacement, but it was hard to find one. Then she sought help from the real estate company where my mother works. This is one of the properties that my mom manages and is an old acquaintance of the owner from decades ago. She nominated me for this job just as I was planning to come back here. On the documents, my mom is the one responsible for this place, but she got me to carry out the practical duties. In other words, the work of the dorm mother. Then, that became the condition for me to coming back to this town. What a mother. Either you be a dorm mother, or you can fuck off to your father in the countryside. As always, she's very crafty, but I wasn't really against the idea, so I accepted. If I had known it was a girls' dormitory, of course, I would have refused. To be back in puberty again. Like, I don't know. I guess, to be honest, to be completely honest, if I was like 17 or something, like they probably are, it would be a big deal to me too, I suppose. But like, to be young again, I suppose. But by the way, if you're 17, you shouldn't be a dorm mother. Did I say that before? I probably said that before. This place is old, a little far from the school, but the rent is cheap. Apart from the food and admin expenses, it costs next to nothing. Still don't buy that. That's why it would be a big problem for me if I couldn't stay here, and if in the worst case scenario the boarders won't be able to go to school. So for now, it seems that everyone has accepted the guy as the dorm mother.
ごちそうさん。美味しかった。
Kanako stacked up the dishes on the counter and licked her lip in satisfaction.
ま、みんなそのうち慣れるって。じゃ、行ってきまーす。
She had eaten it all, not even a single grain of rice was left. To have people enjoy my cooking feels pretty good. I feel deeply relieved. I'm happy that things are going well. Ah, geez, I'd better get ready for school. In the entrance of the dormitory, there was Kotori. She was dressed in her uniform and looked like she was about to go to school. Morning, Kotori.
おはよう。
Are you going to school? Shall we go together?
なんでそうなるの？
Why? Well,
私の足のことを心配してるなら余計なお世話よ。ふんと。
she put it bluntly as she quickly went out the front door. I don't have any friends at school, so I was just asking. It looked like we had a strange misunderstanding. I guess she's a bit touchy in that regard. Probably understandable, I suppose. Wearing my new uniform, I make my way to school. I'm a dorm mother, but also a student of Keifu Academy. I mean, this is my real occupation. Today is the first day at my new school. I'm not really the shy type, but I guess I'm kind of nervous. I would say that the school I was going to before was a sports-focused, all-boys school. Okay, really? Interesting. Keifu Academy, the school I'll be going to now, is an engineering school and a co-ed, and the school traditions are quite different too. As I walk the streets that led to school, there are more and more groups of people wearing the same uniform. This is the same area in which I lived 5 years ago. There should be few people that I know, but most of the people who I'd recognized went on to regular schools. Yeah, I guess if that is a special engineering school, that makes sense. I wonder if the ones who chose to go to Keifu Academy remember me. Even if I only know one person, it would make a big difference. There'll be more weird misunderstandings with Miss Alule too. Oh yeah, which school do Ageha and the others go to? Who is Ageha again? I'll learn the names eventually. Okay, I see. I was already wondering if I forgot someone already. They're my childhood friends who I always played with when I was a kid. There's Ageha, Mabo, Hotaru, and Anshan. By the way, what's kind of weird is, like, what was her name again? Kunako said Aoi-kun, and the kun wasn't translated. But then on the other hand, we have Anshan. That seems like a bit inconsequential. Like the translators can't decide. Out of that group, Ageha and Mabo are the same age as me, but we haven't met in 5 years and haven't really stayed in touch. We just about managed to exchange New Year's card, but that reminds me, in the corner of last year's New Year's card, I think there was a small message about which school we were planning to go to. A lot of things happened, or maybe I'm just lazy, but I haven't told anyone apart from Anshan that I'm coming back. To be honest, I'm not even sure how I should be if I met them. Yeah, that is really an awkward situation, isn't it? Especially if you didn't stay in touch. With the ones like Ageha, she'd probably smash my face and she'd say, "Why didn't you contact me?" or something. She looked and acted like a real tomboy. Oh, okay, calling it, she's like a lady now. When I remember the past, it makes me smile, but... At the point where Toe Street leading to the school meet? Two. It's supposed to be two, I get it. Where Street leading to the school meet, there was a girl wearing a Keifu uniform standing there. looking towards me. The other girls that she was walking to school with asked, "What's up?" and seemed puzzled as they spoke. However, it seems that the girl can't hear them and she's staring over here at me. Just faintly, her eyes seemed full of surprise. She's pretty cute. Jeez, I can write this. I swear to God, I wrote this visual novel. Without realizing, I'd stopped walking and was staring at the girl. Until a few days ago, I was going to an all-boys school. The sight of a girl on the way to school in her uniform, she was pretty cute too, causing me to get palpitations is perfectly reasonable. Palpitations.
Aoi?
Yes, it is. Suddenly, having someone call my name in such a carefree manner made me feel a little nervous. Who is it? There, she said my name again, and she has such a happy expression on her face. Do I know any girls this cute? No. Wait, I've seen this face before. When she smiles like this and her eyes sparkle like a little kid's. Is that you, Ageha? Told you. Jeez, I'm so good at guessing anime cliches. She asked as she briskly moved closer, bringing her face right up to mine. It's definitely Ageha. She's changed a lot, but if I just look at her face, there's no doubt that it's her. Is it really that Ageha? I assume he means the same Ageha. What is it? What is it, sorry, said the other girls as they gathered around in a circle. Ageha turned to face them and introduced me. Sachin replied, "No way, Aoi," as she warmly raised her voice in surprise. Did they have enough money for a voice actor? When we were in 4th grade of elementary school, we were in the same class once. The girls seemed impressed by Ageha's explanation. Excuse me. That was very close to burp. That is very unfitting of the situation. How to meet your childhood friend. First of all, burp right into her face. The girls seemed impressed by Ageha's explanation and they looked at me with eyes full of expectation. Nice to meet you. I'm Aoi Minase. In front of all these girls in their uniforms, I greeted them with a stern look on my face as I tried to hide my embarrassment. I wonder if you really become like that if you go to an all-boys school. I mean, I'm really not a ladies' man, but like becoming really stiff just because they're girls in their uniforms. Ageha laughed as she looked on with relish. I never thought I would find myself doing introductions in the street on the way to school like this, so I was totally unprepared. I'll say it again. Let me do it again. I could hear Miss Kotaris, I won't say this name anymore, in the back of my mind. No. Wait a minute, is her name Kotari or Kotori? I think Kotori, isn't it? Whoops. As she spoke, I wanted to say Agatha, whoops. As she spoke, Ageha was moving her hands around my head to show the difference in height between myself and her. Our bodies were making contact, but she either didn't notice or didn't really mind. I flinched slightly, but the fact that she was so unreserved actually made me feel more comfortable. Speaking of which, you've changed too. As she said, "You think so?" she looked at herself. Yeah, you always looked like a boy, so I was surprised to see you became a girl. Mr. Charming out here. Those were my honest thoughts, but I said them in a way that it sounded weird. I thought you might find it slightly charming, but
どうだ、いい女になっただろ。
Ageha laughed happily and did a little turn on the spot. The face. Jesus fucking Christ. Today is not my reading day, I realized that. The force of her spin made her skirt float around gently. Yeah, it's like you're not really Ageha. While dazed and not really thinking, those thoughts just kind of slipped out.
やったね。
Ageha was pleased and did high fives with her friends. Seeing her in high spirits like that was just like old times. Ageha, my best friend during my childhood, hadn't changed in the 5 years that had passed. Oh, so we also got the childhood friend. Good, I feel better now. Harem is complete. We've got the shy girl, the tsundere, the childhood friend, the weird sexual lady, and the oldest, I guess. Her appearance was surprising, though. I wonder if we'll meet more of his childhood friends. The lesson on my first day at my new school flew by in the blink of an eye. Between the language and social studies lessons taught in regular schools were those from a specialist curriculum. I was still in the 2nd grade, so there aren't that many, but it looks like when you go into the 3rd and 4th grades, the numbers of these specialist lessons increase. Wait, isn't Japanese high school 3 years? Or am I missing something? Is Keifu Academy University? But then you wouldn't wear uniforms. I am confused. Ah, thank you. By the way, this is a 5-year school. That's why that's why when walking in the hallways, this kind of thing happens. Hey, she's pretty. Coming from an all-boys school, with its sad custom, I couldn't help my eyes from following the girls as I walked past them.
ほほう、早速女子のチェックですか？
I guess it's her personality that she's already like that accustomed to him again, but that's kind of weird. No, that's not it. I just thought that they looked really grown up, that's all.
4年か5年の先輩じゃないかな。
At our age, a gap of 3 or 4 years is pretty big. The students in the upper grades looked very mature.
それにね、うちってこの手の専門学校にしては女子の比率が多いんだよ。
In an engineering school? That seems unlikely. I mean, I don't want to enforce stereotypes, but I feel like this is at least like 55%, 60% still a men's domain. I mean, I wouldn't bet on it, but I'm pretty sure it is. Huh? Why is that? Without thinking, I really took an interest in that, and Ageha looked at me as if she wanted to call me a pervert.
校舎の建て替えと同時期に女子生徒の受け入れを強化したんだって。
I'd heard about that before I transferred. They increased the number of courses for girls and asked famous designers to make the design for the new building. It has been said, thanks to that the ratio of boys and girls is about 50-50, which is one of the selling points of the school. Bearing this in mind, I felt uneasy about choosing this school as the one I would transfer to, but I'd like people to think that it can't be helped because I'm from an old boys' school. By the way, it's now lunchtime. Ageha is in the middle of giving me a guided tour of the school building. Yeah, but this really is an amazing school. The school itself is pretty old. Due to it being a special kind of school, of course it's famous in the local area. I've known about it too since I was a little kid. By the way, can I just say, like, the box And the color of the writing, this is not the best choice. Like, it's so similar in color that you sometimes, it just gets blurry in front of my eyes. Maybe I should just go to bed, I don't know. The school building has been rebuilt over the last few years, with the renovations divided into several stages, the last of which was completed just 1 year ago. It is said that it's because of the famous designers. The design uses many curved lines, so the appearance is far removed from what the generally associated with the word school. It felt like I had entered some kind of sci-fi setting.
設備も最高だよ。冷暖房完備、完全バリアフリーで、どんな人も安心して学校生活が送れます。
Disabled access? That's right. Thank you. At least you're realizing that this is stupid. Miss Alule, I mean Kotori, should be somewhere in this school.
でもさ、葵、ほんと変わったよね。
Ageha, as she walked by my side, was happily murmuring as she looked at my face.
顔とか、昔はもっと可愛らしかったのに、なんかゴツゴツしちゃってさ。
That is what country life does to you, lady. Yeah, same to you.
ひどっ！私、ゴツゴツなんてしてないもん。
If she knew that when we met on the way to school earlier, I thought she's pretty cute, she'd never let it go. So I'd better keep quiet.
あんちゃんから聞いてなかったら気づかなかったわよ。
You heard it from Anchan?
そう、葵が帰ってくるってね。
By the way, I'm in the same class as Ageha. She knew that I might be coming as a transfer student, which is why she wasn't that surprised by our chance meeting this
あ
morning.
んたね、帰ってくるなら連絡くらいよこしなさいよね。
Sorry. The reason why we call him Anchan... Ah, okay. So it's a him. Anchan isn't because he's like an older brother type guy. Aniki means an older guy, like a big brother. He was our childhood friend, but he was much older than us, so we nicknamed him Anchan. Oh, that's an interesting mixture. He's not related by blood, but he's just like a real big brother. Ageha glared at me and said geez, as I tried to laugh it off.
昔の私ならアックスボンバーかましてるところよ。
Oh fuck! Wrestling references. If you're a wrestling fan, which you're probably not, because I feel sometimes like nobody is except me, the X-Bomber was the finish of Hulk Hogan in Japan. She wouldn't really have hit me. As we talked, we went back to the classroom. Oh shit! Especially why the X-Bomber? Like. Stan Hansen's lariat is way more famous in Japan, but I guess she's a Hogan fan. The classrooms weren't exactly normal either. Whoa, yeah, this looks really high-tech, but I guess it makes sense for like an engineering school. I feel a little uneasy. I start wondering if those schools actually exist in Japan. I feel a little uneasy taking lessons here, but maybe I'll get used to it sometime soon. By the way, there's a girl in a wheelchair in this school, right? Kotori Habane. I ask Aga... This Alule's stuff gets old really fast. I ask Ageha as we return to our seats. I didn't ask what grade she was in, but even if it's not the same, I thought Ageha would at least be aware of her.
ああ、うん。
Oh, she seems to be famous for some bad reason apparently. Ageha reacted like she was being evasive. It wasn't just Ageha, but the other people sitting nearby who heard our conversation also seemed kind of awkward.
ハバネさんならうちのクラスだよ。今日は来てないみたいだけど。
Yeah, interesting. After Ageha said that, someone nodded. Someone added, "You mean today either, don't you?" The way she said that seemed quite harsh. That can't be. I mean... I thought about explaining that she had left the dormitory this morning in her uniform, but I held my tongue. The atmosphere was kind of
こ
strange.
こんとこずっと休んでるんだ。 体調が良くないみたいでさ。
Oh, I see. The age-old story of not going to school but planning to do so. Yeah, I get that. Like I never did not go to school for extensive periods of times, but especially in the last year where I was able to excuse myself. Like when you're 18 in German schools, you're actually able to excuse yourself from lessons, which I guess it makes sense. You're of age and stuff, but still, like, sometimes not a good idea. And yeah, I did that a few times when I wasn't feeling school, if you get what I mean. I mean, you're still in the late stages of your teenager years, and sometimes you just can't be bothered. I guess everyone knows that. Not feeling well? Yesterday, she had went out to Windmill Hill, and then later she was chasing that duck around the hills of the dormitory. And this morning she left wearing her uniform. Is she skipping school? Well, obviously. However, more worrying than what Kotori is up to is the reaction of the others in the class when they heard us talking about her. Even Ageha looked like she had something she wanted to say but couldn't. But I don't really know what the situation is, so I can't really say anything.
おい、山本。英語の辞書を貸してくんね。
As the awkwardness started to fade, an optimistic voice called out. From the entrance of the classroom, a carefree-looking guy poked his head and started speaking to a boy in our class.
お、ちょうどいいところに。おーい、マーボー。
Oh, I
だ
see.
よ、アゲハ。なんか用か？
The guy known as Mabo came into my class.
お前と仲良くしてっと、エリちゃんのご機嫌が悪くなんだよ。あれってやっぱジェラシーってやつだよな。
So this is the Sunohara kind of guy, I
いい
see.
からこっち来い。
お、誰これ？転校生？アゲハは見た目結構可愛いけど、中身男だから気をつける？
Ageha and I both looked blankly at him for a moment. Long time no see, Mabo.
は？
Why is this transfer student being so buddy-buddy with me? His face seemed to say. It's me. Have you forgotten me?
俺だよ。え？お前、葵？
I looked at Ageha and she
にや。
wanted to surprise him, so it seems like she intentionally didn't tell him. This slightly superficial guy is Masatsugu Tasaki, or Mabo as we call him. I'm okay with that, I already forgot again. He's our childhood friend.
なんで葵がここにいるんだよ。てか、転校生って？え？
あんた驚きすぎ。
そりゃ驚くって。
You said well, Mabo. You've grown pretty big. Masatsugu used to be really small, but now he was about the same size as me. It's not quite like the change in Ageha, but in the 5 years that have passed since we were kids, it looks like he's grown to about twice the size.
お前こそ。
We grabbed each other by the right hand. This was instead of a small, quiet greeting.
本当に葵なのかよ。
Yeah, I'm back, Mabo.
おかえり。葵。
Like, am I in the wrong here? I feel like if you don't keep contact with someone for 5 years, like, am I the weird one? That everyone is just happy you are here and, like, no weird feelings between anybody? This time, bam, he gave me a full-on hug. Hey!
うんうん。熱い友情ってやつだね。
We were the only ones who thought so, whereas all of the girls around us were totally freaked out.
会いたかったよ。
What?
じゃねえよこの裏切り者。
Mabo suddenly backed off and thrust his finger at the end of my nose. What is this all of a
い
sudden?
きなり出て行ったと思ったらろくに連絡もよこさねえで。俺やアゲハがどんな思いでいたかてめえ知ってるのか。
いやいや、勝手に私を巻き添えにするな。
そのくせよくものこのこと。
I'm sorry, but it's not my fault that I had to move away. If you want to complain, say it to my dad. I thought about writing a letter, but I felt kind of embarrassed. For the most part, the fact that there was no contact was both our faults.
この裏切り者め、俺は絶対許さないかんな。お前なんか嫌いだ、バカバカ。
I mean, I guess keeping contact is at least the first step is more on the end of the moving away person. But of course, it's on both ends parts in the end. Oh well. With saliva flying out of his mouth as he emphasized his words, Mabo forgot all about borrowing the English dictionary and he stormed out of the classroom.
子供かい。
It wasn't just us, but everyone in the classroom was shocked.
こうなると思って教えてなかったんだけどね。知ってたらあいつ最初から全開であんな感じだっただろうから。
I think that was the correct decision. I want to say thank you. Even so, he did seem really upset about it.
あいつ最近彼女ができて調子づいてんのよ。小さい頃は「葵、アゲハ待ってよ」とか言って私らの後にくっついてきてたのにね。大丈夫、すぐ元通りになるって。だってあいつ葵大好きっ子だもん。
Don't say it like that. It sounds weird.
そう、可愛いじゃない。
While we carried on talking, the bell to mark the end of the lunchtime sounded. Everyone put away their lunch boxes and got ready for the next lesson. Agiha went back to her seat. She stopped halfway, then walked back. What's up? Agiha seemed concerned about those around us and lowered her voice. Oh, I get some Kotori information.
なんでハバネさんのこと知ってるのか
okay.
なっ
See?
て。
Well, the truth is, my mom asked me to be the dorm mother of a student dormitory. I lowered my voice so that those around us couldn't hear.
寮の管理人？
Kotori is boarding there.
そうなんだ。
My mom asked me to take good care of Kotori. Even if she hadn't, I'd be worried about her anyways. As she listened to my explanation, Agia thought it over. Her expression darkened somehow.
このまま来なくなるんじゃないかってみんな心配してる。
I don't know, that doesn't seem like worrying to me if you're just like, you know... That didn't seem like worrying
あん
before.
まり学校が楽しくないみたいなんだ。
It looked as if she was saying, I can't believe she doesn't enjoy school. You seem to enjoy it.
私？もちろんだよ。だって楽しいじゃない学校。
I guess. It was still my first day at the new school, but I was enjoying it quite a lot too.
そっか。そうなんだ。
Whether or not she was convinced by my story, Ageha mumbled something or other as she returned to her seat. After school, I was alone and was wandering around the school building. This was so that I could take a look at some of the club activities. Film studies, theater club, there's even an RC club. What the hell is an RC club? Retro Cultivating Club. Okay, there we go. This is, after all, a specialist school. Looking at the playing field from the window, in the heat outside, I saw the sports clubs practicing. Compared to my school, it's pretty calm. The sports clubs at the school I used to go were taken so seriously. Yeah, I guess that is true for all boys' school. The sight of training before a match was one of grueling harshness. Wait, what do I mean my school? I'm a student of this school now. I'll go take a look. Go to the sumo club. Yeah, probably you won't. Nobody ever goes to the sumo club. I went down next to the playing field to watch the sports clubs practicing. Before long, I started to feel a little down, so I left. The doctor said that if I... Ah, so he's actually the cyclist. I see. I see. I was, to be honest, at this point I was kinda convinced that it's Kotori. The doctor said that if it's light exercise, it shouldn't be a problem. I try stamping down strongly with my right foot, and there isn't really any discomfort. There, the baseball club, which was returning through from the off-campus running course, entered through the school gates.
Ah, Minase! Omae, Minase daro?
This is Anchan, huh? The one calling me was an old acquaintance. Ah, no, it isn't. It's you, Taguchi. It's been a long time.
帰ってきたんだってな。もう部活は決めたのか?
No, not yet. I'm going round taking a look
野
now.
球部入れよ。お前ならすぐレギュラーなれるぞ。
When I was a kid, I often played baseball in the park. Some of the guys in the group that were my teammates or on the other team were in the baseball team. I'll think about it. I casually responded, and the baseball team members replied, "Come on, join us seriously," as they returned to the playing field. If I could do physical activities, baseball, in fact, anything would be okay. As I grumbled to myself, I felt that I didn't want to go back to the playing field, so I entered the path leading to the back of the school. I wonder what kind of injury he had. Like, I really get him. I broke my foot, like... How long is it ago now? Like 1.5 years? Maybe even more. Probably even more. Like a lot more now that I think about it. Like at least 2 years and a few months. Anyway, like I still feel that. My foot still does not feel the same. And it probably, I suppose, when it's not the same after 2 years, it will probably never be the same. I still can do the sports though, so at least that's good. That's all good. But I can't put the same strain on my foot anymore. It's just a fact. I spent a while walking around the back of the school. It was called the rear garden, but it looked like it hadn't been taken care of at all, and was just an empty space with weeds growing everywhere. In that empty space, there was a garage. Hello, I'm coming in. It looks like no one is here, but I thought I should say something to let them know, just in case. Is this place used for club activities too? Or is it used for lessons? I don't know what they are used for, but there are many tools and parts crammed onto the shelves that cover the walls. Hey, I guess that is interesting for you. Then in the center is a huge object covered with a sheet. The feelings that had washed over me like a wave when I watched the sports clubs strangely subside from being here. The tools and the dimly lit garage must have reminded me of times when I would tinker with my bicycle. Ah, I get it. Another reason why he has tools with him. Oh, whoops. Putting that together like 2 hours too late. Oh, 2 hours, 2 episodes. What is this used for? I conceal the sound of my footsteps as I sneak inside the garage. It's pretty spacious. There's a tea set here too. Oh no, Kaon. There was no doubt about it. Someone was using this place. I get a strange sense of activity. I guess it must be one of the clubs. Whoa! There's someone here. I was so surprised it felt like my heart was going to jump out. The person over there seemed to not have noticed me at all. I'm not sure if you could call it a drawing board, but as she stared at the plants that were placed there, she was kind of groaning. She groaned back. I'm sorry for letting myself in here. I'll be going now. That's no good, she didn't hear me. Her eyes were so serious as she stared at the plants, and she looked like she was really concentrating. I didn't know what to do, so I just looked at her from the side. Now that I look closely, she's really beautiful. Can I say that everyone apparently in this school is beautiful? That is some lucky genes in this village. Hey, why am I staring at her? I hurriedly looked away. However, it looks as if she still hasn't noticed me, so I take another glimpse. She looks quite mature. Is she in the 5th grade? She's so pretty. Kotori is pretty too, but this person is different and has a mysterious charm. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, Kotori could also be like 14. The way she looks. This lady definitely looks older. Mysterious beauty. She suddenly stood up. I'm sorry. Without thinking, I avert my eyes and apologize, but she's looking straight at me, I suppose. Past me, and grabs a big, thick book from the shelf. She flicked through the page and looked like she had found something before going straight back to her seat. In good spirits, she began swiftly drawing the plants. The pen made a nice swoosh swoosh sound as it ran across the page. The feeling of maturity that she had until just now suddenly changed. When she smiles all of a sudden, she looks more like a kid. As her eyes looked straight at the plants, they looked as though they had a crystal clear purity to them. Just like an innocent child, her eyes looked as though she believed that the world is full of wonderful, sparkling things. Her hands stopped moving. I got the timing right. Excuse me? Are you fucking for real? You know, one trope I don't like too much is like, I'm so much into my work that I run past you even without realizing. She finally noticed me. Even though I had unexpectedly appeared like that, she didn't show any signs of caution, and still in good spirits, smiled as she greeted me. Hi. I thought that I should say something to her, but I didn't think of what to say after that. Yeah, I know that feeling. I'm sorry that I just let myself in here. I just transferred here today, but I was taking a look at the club activities, and I got lost and came in here. I got a little carried away and said more than I needed to, but she didn't seem interested at all. She looked at me as if to say yes, and... Can I just say there were quite a few spelling errors in this thing? It seemed like a kind of blunt way to say it, but she wasn't angry or anything. She has a strange way of speaking. I'm sorry, I better go. As I said that, like a total loser, I mean, the man is self-aware at least, a huge sound echoed around the garage. What was that noise? With a lack of energy in her voice, the beautiful girl before me held her stomach and fell down onto the drawing board. Was that the sound of your stomach just now? We're inside the garage, so the sound echoed like crazy and sounded like the growl of a monster. She seemed to sway as she tried to get up, but she didn't have any energy, so she slumped back down with her cheek on the drawing board. Would you like to eat this? I took some bread out of my bag. I thought I'd get hungry with just a lunchbox, so at lunchtime I bought some melon bread. Yeah, Japanese people and their weird bread. Like, as a German, to be honest, I'll probably never get it. I mean, I get the idea of sweet bread, and some is good. Like, I really like bean paste and stuff like that. But in general, like, you also need, like, normal bread, like German bread. German bread is the ultimate bread. Like, don't tell me anything else. Her eyes shone as if she were an explorer who had discovered treasure in a cave in some unexplored place.
いいのか？
Go ahead.
ありがとう。
She took the melon bread, opened the wrapper immediately, and bit into the contents. She was getting crumbs everywhere, but really looked like she was enjoying as she devoured it greedily.
おいしい。おいしい。久しぶりのカロリー摂取だ。
What? That is called an eating disorder, lady. Like, as a fat dude, I mean, I know what I'm talking about eating disorders. Could that be because she's poor? The fact that she was so ecstatic over something like melon bread actually made me quite worried. She didn't show any signs that she was thinking of my generosity and just ate up the high-calorie melon bread.
おいしかった。
She murmured happily, looking happy as can be. She looked like she was mulling over the taste of the melon bread in her brain.
脳に糖分が染み渡る。
Okay. Weird. She said as she turned back to the drawing board. Oh, I completely forgot to read that out. She drawing and energy. From the serious look on her face, it seemed that she had already forgotten about me. She is strange. Not just a little, but very strange. Okay, well, I'll be off now. Perhaps she didn't hear me. I put the melon bread wrapper that she had left behind in my pocket and turned to leave. I reluctantly left the special atmosphere of the garage behind me. Yeah, that was actually pretty cool, I gotta say. Liked it quite a bit. So that was an interesting new person we met. I kinda wonder where we put her in, like, the whole harem thing, I suppose. Like, I'm not quite sure what kind of character she is. Is she like the artsy one who's like only into her art and not living in her own little world? But the whole sugar thing and not eating anything and stuff, I guess it kind of fits the character traits. But I'm not too sure. But I guess we'll see her again, no doubt about that. Huh. Also very interesting this episode that everyone is so weird about Kotori. I guess we'll learn more about her as well. Well, I guess I'll end things here. So thank you everybody for watching and come back for the next episode. Bye bye.